labels that my guy is passing out. He said, we've already started the short sale process, but please come by tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to come by tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Why? Because according to realtors, properties that are under contract have to be on the MLS, correct? Unless there's a waiver. So I checked the MLS. Guess what? There's no listing. So I'm going to go by and do what? I'm going to offer my assistance to be able to let them know that I want to build a relationship with them, not just to list their property. I tell all of my clients, my relationship with you is not just through this transaction, but it goes further and beyond. You have to be willing to sit down and talk with these people because they are going through something that is hurting them to the core, especially if they have children. Especially if they've been in that home for a while. Because it's more than just the dollar. Let me explain. In 2007, not only did I make a lot of money, but I also almost lost my home to foreclosure. And me being an REO agent, I knew the process. I bought my home in 1998. My wife was pregnant. It was the only house we looked at because she sat on the couch and she said, I want this house. A 5-bedroom, 3-bath house. I was doing hair at the time, the only 2-story in the neighborhood, and she sat on the couch and said, I want this house. And I did everything I could to make sure we got that house. And then 2005 came, I was working, I said, I'm going to get into real estate, so I'm going to get a loan on my house to start my real estate career. My 220 went up to 440. Started my real estate career. And then when the market fell, so did my income. $3,800 a month I could pay, no problem. And then I was broke. Didn't pay my mortgage for a year and a half. And I was the one that when the bank called me to take a picture of a property for a BPO, to take the picture of the property in the street, front, back, and side, I was the one that did that for the bank because they were about to foreclose. And so I was standing in my front room and I saw a gold Mercedes pull up across the street from my house. Didn't get out the car, but just sat there. Took a camera out and took a picture of my house. And I knew that when my wife said, I want this house, the day my daughter was born was the day we closed escrow. And when I saw them take a picture, I told my wife, I said, we have to sell the house. She said, I don't want to sell the house. So now I had to do something. So guess what? I did what most of us say is not going to work. I got a loan modification. Yes, I did. I got a loan modification which reduced my loan from $3,800 a month to $1,400 a month. And guess what? So I know what people are going through when they get that notice of default letter. And you have to know the feeling. The reason why I told you that story is because you have to know the feeling, even though you have not been through it, that what people are going through when they get that notice of default is no laughing matter. Because their children are looking at them. Their wife is looking at them. Their husband is looking at them. And so you have to come from a position of relationship to say, listen, what can I do to help you through this situation? What did the bank do to you? What has the bank promised you? What can I do for you right now at this moment? Can I get on the phone to talk with your bank? Because your bank won't let me talk to them by myself. I'm going to need you to give me permission. Do you think I can come in and talk with you and share with your bank or to see where you are in the process? The listing may not come then, but you may have to wait. I have a whole lot of experiences. I have an experience that somebody said, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to go through the loan modification. I said, okay, let me help you. Let me send you to a loan modification company. I sent them to a loan modification, and guess what? They got a loan modification, but they weren't satisfied with it. So they said, you know what, forget that, list my property. So when you look at coming to the door, when you get past the fear of coming to the door and not knowing what to do, and the good thing is with Dave and with Lee, you have materials in hand that speak for themselves. But always remember, it's more than just, I want to help you take your home. I want to get your home away from you. The best thing about this is you have the opportunity to double in both transactions, because not only are you dealing with short sales where the bank decides what the price is, but you can also have investors in hand in order to come and help them through that situation. You have the ability to do it. You have the ability to make it if you just put that strive in to go forward. Do I have any questions about getting to the door or what happens at the door? No questions?
Automatically ask you what the light should be when you get there, or I mean every scenario is different. I'm just briefing, or you give them a confirmation call, you know.
Oh no, I do not call. No, slide dial is the way to go. I do not want any.
You're using Hayes. Hours you see it tomorrow.
Well, I know Dave leaves the slide dial. I don't even call. I just show up. Because just like you said, if you don't want to meet with them, call them. Yes.
How many times do you go to the same house?
As far as after you get the call?
Yeah, do you have an appointment? Some chick make an appointment?
95% of the time when they make the appointment, 95% of the time they're there. And if they're not there, I just have a blank label and I put it on there again. Sorry I missed you. Was here today. And I'll do that 3 times. So, and it's up to you on how you go back. Because literally, they will make the appointment. My first week out, when Central Communications, they had, the call center had the information. When I went out the first week, they called and made appointments for the same day. And I had to call them. I said, hold up. I said, please make the appointments for the next day. Because when I went out and did 16 to 32 labels, I was getting 7 to 8 appointments on that same day. And I said, no, I can't do that. Okay? So using the system, you definitely will get phone calls. You definitely will get appointments if you want them. Yes.
Your packet material is pretty much what you have. Have you added any stuff?
I've added some short sale information to Lee's paperwork. I invested in Dave's paperwork today. And listen, did you hear me? I didn't say I paid for it. I invested in myself and my business. I invested in that because sometimes the things that stop us from going to the door is that we feel we don't have enough information. You have to educate yourself on the process. The process with the notice of default, you have how many days? 90 days. 90 days. After the 90 days, trustee sale, you have how many days? 21 days. If you see on your paperwork that it says Nation Star or Champion Mortgage, what does that mean to you? I thought I was going to stew somebody on that one. Right. You know that it's a reverse mortgage. Okay? If you see equity in a neighborhood that you're going for, the equity is minus 150 or 130 or 80 or 90, what is the most likeliest thing that's happening in that neighborhood? We have it over here. They're reverse mortgages. So what you find when you're going to the door, you'll find out a lot of things because you think because it has this much negative equity that you have a slam dunk. They're ready to go. No, they'll boldly stand at the door and say, yes, we have a reverse mortgage. Okay? Yes?
When the homeowner agrees to talk to the bank, what kind of conversation do you have with the bank and call them up?
Well, when we call the bank, we actually ask them about the notice of default. We ask them, one, why did they file the notice of default if there's a loan modification going on, okay? And then we ask them again about a short sale if they're interested in that. So basically what we're trying to find out when we get on the phone with the bank about their loan modification is where their process is. Is the client the one that's missing information, or is the bank the one that's not communicating the information? And many of you know that the biggest organization that handles loan modification is who? Is NACA, right? So what I do is, guess what? I marry those loan modifications into getting homes that are below $400,000, because NACA not only has a program for home save, but they have a home purchase program too. Did you know that? And so what I do is when I get a home that's a short sale, I try and get my NACA buyers financing, and they usually come in with little than $5,000 down. So you always have to work it so that you're in the know with your clients, so that you have more information that they think you know. Okay? Any others? Yes.
What do you do when you do get a reverse client? Because they're either dead or they're not paying their taxes.
Right. If you get a reverse client, you can still work it as a short sale. It's Champion is kind of a stickler because they don't communicate sometimes over the phone. You have to do everything via fax, but you can still negotiate. Call Dave and negotiate that short sale because even though they're reverse mortgages, they can be short sold.
Yeah, 95%.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Someone raise their hand? No? I told you I'm a quick talker, so getting to the door. Getting to the door tells us, I'm sorry. Okay, so getting to the door tells us that we can make a difference in doing what it is that we can. So we have to be encouraged to the point to know that no matter what background you come from, you have to come from the background of assistance and not a background of not being able to help someone. So you have to make yourself available in all facets of the home sale process as well as the home purchase process. Because not only are you looking to short sell their home, but also they have to have somewhere to go. Is that true? So what are some of your limiting beliefs that is stopping you from getting some of the income that we've been talking about through this week? Yeah. Limited beliefs? None?
There, you gotta find out.
Say it again?
There's the limiting beliefs are there, you gotta find out.
You have to find out.
There's this girl that I know that talks about limiting beliefs, and she makes everybody write down on a piece of paper, how much money do you think you're going to make this week or this month? And then she says, now double it. Okay, now triple it. And then by a show of hands, she said, okay, now how many people think they're going to make that much money? And then everybody in the room sits down and she says, all right, well, those are all the people with limiting beliefs. They don't think they're going to do it. And so the point to the story is that if you don't have perspective, like what you're saying, you'll never achieve what you think you can do. And me personally, I've not by choice, I've worked every day this year since January 5th. I haven't had one day off. And it's because I'm that busy.
How much time do I have?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, let me share something with you. I've been in business since 2005. My wife, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. Ooh, don't tell her I didn't tell you, okay? I have a wife, I have 2 sons, and I have a daughter. Let me share with you my story. Can I share with you my story?
Yes.
Not only did we close escrow in 1998 with my daughter, but my daughter had a uteral stroke when she was born. So she had a stroke